Hello and welcome to Breathwood. My name is David Yates and I want to talk about the double wobble. Here is a very slow version of it. By the way, I'm doing this demo today on this Didgeridoo spiral portable didgeridoo by Nico down in Mexico. So I'll include a link to his info, his Facebook page if you're curious about this didge. Tell him I sent you if you do contact him. So I was once playing Taka Waka in a video. And someone called that a double wobble. I assumed at the time it's because there was the waka, squeeze, and then release. It sounded like there are two of those, so I assumed that that's what they meant. Two da-da sounds. Taka, waka. This double wobble is a double cheek wobble, which means that the cheeks squeeze partway and then more. So you get wah, wah in one section and in one breath. Wah, 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 wah. The prerequisite for this is a single wah. So you could do something like takawa, takawa, takawa. Or he who wa. Now my inspiration for sharing this comes from a fellow named Carlo on the Didgeridoo learning community on Facebook, who does a blazingly fast, super fast double cheek wobble. It blows my mind. So I'm trying to learn it. And I've been at it pretty solid for the last few days. If you practice something like this every day, you will see improvement if you take it very slow. So what he does in that video is he, who, double cheek squeeze. It's hard to do super slow because the air runs out, I find. Here's another piece to keep in mind. There are two ways that most people will create the he, who sound. One is actually using the diaphragm with an H. He, who. Okay, diaphragm, lung push. He, who. He, who. So say he, who twice, right in a row. He, who, he, who. It can end up turning into he, ooh, ooh. Say ooh, or ee-oo. That's called a glottal stop, I believe. If you're a linguistics person, correct me if I'm wrong. That sound comes from the back of the throat going rather than ha, 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 ha. Both are great. You could be playing ee-oo, wah-ah, ee-oo, wah-wah, ee-oo, wah-wah, or he-hoo, wah-wah. I find he-hoo harder than ee-oo or he-oo. Experiment with them all. So here's he-hoo. Almost. And here's he-oo. He-oo. So I'm tending to do he-oo and sometimes ee-oo. This mouthpiece is a little on the small side for me, and Nico's able to customize it to different sizes. But what he says is that this didge is designed to get beginners playing. And this past weekend, I got my family actually trying to play. So, and they were getting it. So he's onto something there. But sometimes I don't start the drone so well on this size. I have a big mouth. Okay, so how do you get the cheeks to do a double squeeze? That's weird, right? Pressurize on who. So he, Phil. Then he. The best thing I can tell you is to really mentally first think half squeeze, full, half, 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 the rest of the way, half, half. If you have to, you can use your hand to go push, push to help train your cheeks a little. And then use your hand to follow your cheeks. So you can just feel it, but you're not doing it with your hand. Just follow the motion. Mostly, just sit back and be amazed at the incredible ability of your brain to coordinate your cheeks, to do something as weird as pushing 2 times in a row, halfway and then more. It's crazy. If you keep thinking it will happen, but you got to do it slowly. Make sure you can hear the he, the who, a single wah, and try to start turning that first big wah into another second wah. So the rhythm is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And without that second wah, you've got 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. And then sometimes you'll, as your cheeks gain strength, you'll be able to squeeze out a little bit more. I definitely find there's a balance when playing it slowly means that there isn't enough pressure. If you can picture a beach ball that doesn't have quite enough air to bounce, it kind of flops. You need enough pressure to be able to push into the squeeze, squeeze. He, who, squeeze. So if you're playing too slow or don't have a high back pressure didge, it can be harder. So you might sometimes have to go a little faster and then back off, faster, back off. You need air, you need pressure for this to work. It's like a pump system. Not enough air and the pump kind of stops working. Let's say you try to go faster. And it starts turning from wah wah into he who wah, he who wah, he who wah, he who wah. There's this little pulse, but you lose the articulation. I think that's okay a little bit, but then you want to back off and get he, who, wah, wah. Where do you breathe? You breathe on the first wah, and you have the space of the second wah to keep breathing. if you need to. If you get too much air, then try to take smaller breaths. If you still get too much air, sometimes breathe out. Circular breathing is the ability to move air in and out of your lungs while making sound, in or out. So that's good to keep in mind. So that's my own introduction to the double cheek wobble, your introduction if you haven't learned how to break it down yet. And I'd love to hear how it goes for you. Check below for the link to my Instagram. I've been posting every day or every other day a short practice of the double cheek wobble, so I can see my improvement and you can watch too. Watch my cheeks, listen for the sound, and do your own. If you connect with me there and post your own videos, I'd love to check it out. Join Didgeridoo Learning Community if you need some help and tips, and join my Patreon account if you want to support me in offering more videos like this. I think that's good for now. Hee hoo wah wah. Have fun. Happy playing.